Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. My name's Janelle, and today I am going to be reviewing Postcard Stories by Jen Carson. So, this has a little bit of a story to it. I am going to do my best and keep it short, but I've never been into short stories. But in the sense where I've never even really given them a try, because I just always thought I would only ever want the most detail possible and the full story front to back. And then last month I was in a big reading slump and I didn't have any kind of attention span whatsoever. And I feel like if I'd had short stories then, it would have helped me and I would have been okay or would have been better. And I think just having little snippets sometimes is all you need in some ways. Like Simon Savage has spoken about short stories and reads them and has done a video about them. I will link that below. Noelle Gallagher's just started to get into short stories and she described it as like people watching, which really like switched something on in my head. So anyway, when was it? A couple weeks ago. We went into Belfast, we went to some independent bookshops and I got this one. It is very short stories, so they're like a page or half a page each of them. And what it is, so it's by Jen Carson, who is from Belfast, and what she did is in 2015, every single week she sent a postcard to a different friend. So you go through, it'll say what week it is, what date it was. Underneath it'll say the name of like what the location on the postcard was, which is just so cool. Like there's, when I looked up when we, actually that'll kind of tell me when about we got it. It was set in Botanic Avenue for the week that it was that we got it, and the bookshop was on Botanic Avenue. So it was so cool. It was so neat to me, and I just love seeing all these different locations. And some of the short stories mention them. Some of the short stories are about either Ulster Museum or talking about the Loch or Ards or Scrabble Tower or, you know, the different locations. Some of them don't touch on it at all. And overall, I really loved it. I really like her style of writing. There was a handful I was trying to choose between, but overall it was her style of writing, and I was really intrigued. There was something about it. It's almost poetic, but quite a few of them were like very like dark and kind of haunting, and I love that. And I'll read one for you here. Knew I forgot something? Thought the book looked a little different. Okay, so I did tab some of my favorites. So there's one for every week of the year. So there's 52 in here. I tabbed, how many did I tab? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 or 10. That just hit a little bit differently. And I absolutely love them. There's one that I found very sad, and it got me emotional. I'm not going to read that one. But this one, especially the ending, her description. So this is week 25, June 23rd, 2015. The postcard was Ulster Hall. And it says, "When I grow up, I want to be a player in a paper orchestra. This is similar to being a player in an ordinary orchestra, except the instruments are extremely affordable as they are not made of brass or wood or any kind of permanent material. I will be able to become a violinist then, just a few weeks later, a trumpet player, a cellist, or even a banger of oversized drums. Furthermore, the noise made by a paper orchestra is nothing near the racket generated by an everyday orchestra, even in rehearsal. The sound of a paper orchestra is like the memory of a song heard once in passing, or rain behind glass, or the noise human breath will make catching on the inside of a woolen scarf. Paper orchestras are all the more precious because they are disposable, and because they are also subject to the subtle shifts of wind and gentle wear." I love it. Like when I read about, you know, your breath on woolen scarves, I'm from Canada. I get it so well. Like it's cold in Canada. It is cold, especially like some provinces, well, like, some provinces get a bit colder than others, but like where I grew up, every winter we get to like -40, you know, between -20 and -40, no problem, right? I have had like my breath freeze little ice chunks in my scarf. So when she said that, I was like, I know exactly the vibe. You know, it hit me. I just love the way she writes. Like, it's so poetic, and it's haunting, and it's beautiful. And it made me so happy, and it meant so much to me to be reading a book, a short story collection set in Belfast and written by an author from Belfast. I have been living in Northern Ireland for almost 3 years now, which is crazy, by the way. But, and sorry if you keep hearing a lawnmower. The neighbors just don't know. I have been wanting to read a book set in Belfast or Northern Ireland since I moved here, but I have had a lot of trouble finding books set here that aren't just nonfiction or political discussions because of the country's history. And like, that is the country's history. So I'm reading another book by her right now that's set during the Troubles, and that's fine because it's part of the history. But a lot just kind of seemed to be very, you know, a political discussion, which is not what I want. I want to get more of a feel for the history, for the culture, for the locality, and just to read about places that I've been to. When she talked about places, I was like, I've been there, and it was so, so cool. It made me very, very, very happy. I gave it 4 stars, and that's one thing that I anticipated being a struggle with short story collections, because I didn't dislike any. None of them I disliked. But there was some where I just felt like it went a little bit over my head, and maybe if I reread them, it'll hit me a bit more. But then there was that solid handful that I just loved, and then there's other ones that I really liked. So there's some that I would have rated 5 stars, you know, all these tabbed ones. There's some I would have rated 4 stars, and there's others I maybe would have given it 3 or 3.5. So I just said 4, especially since I haven't read short story collections, so I don't even have anything to base it off of. There is a second volume to this, and I'm excited. I cannot wait to get it. I've already reread all of these tabbed ones multiple times, and I only finished it less than a week ago. So I really am enjoying it. And if you're looking for something from an author from Northern Ireland, this, definitely recommend this. Like I said, not every single story specifically talks about a location, but they're all so unique, and I found them so inspiring because I love writing things down, and I'll have these like really random little stories on in my head, and quite often I don't write them down because I'm like, well, that's not a book, you know, it's not a novel, it's just random story, but I'll just come up with it and I'll keep thinking about it, but I won't write it down always. But this, I was like, no, random's fine. Random's okay. Random is celebrated. Random's fantastic. Like, I loved it. I loved how some of these things, like, were just so random and obscure, but still drove such a point home. And, you know, it really inspired me as well. So I really, really recommend picking this one up. It's a momentous moment. I've read my first short story collection, my first book set in Northern Ireland from a Northern Irish author. And it's made my heart very warm and fuzzy, so it's very special. So I really recommend it. If you have any other short story collections you'd like to recommend, please do. Especially if it's like haunting, set by the water, you know, in a haunting way, not like a beach read kind of way, but in a haunting way. I love anything like ocean, mermaids, sirens, just ocean and water. Love it. That would be amazing, please. And if you want to like, comment, and subscribe, I'd really appreciate that. So thank you so much for watching.